Hey guys, welcome back to the Disgruntl'd Coach Show. I'm the Disgruntl'd Coach, Coach Vern Earwood. Just back here, go ahead and give episode 2, chapter 2, whatever you want to call this, me kind of doing this new venture, branching out, doing my YouTube video, just kind of talking a little bit throughout my videos, about subjects that you want to hear about, that you want to talk about. The other day I did an introduction. I told you a little bit about myself, a little bit about my history, what got me into boxing, combat sports, some of my Marine Corps time, some things that got me in trouble, and it just kind of went from there, and kind of how I moved forward from that, and then whenever I posted my video, and shared it on my social medias, I did say, I would love some feedback, I'd love some advice. I had some great advice, from a couple of different, people that reached out to me who are influencers, content creators. I'm not saying I'll ever, be all of that or grow big or anything. It's always fun to do this, but I'm doing this, just more so I can kind of speak to the world out there, get things off of my mind, off my chest, talk about the things that you suggest and would like to hear about or hear my perspective on, my opinion on. And that's why we're doing this. So here we are, part 2, chapter 2, just kind of moving forward and having some fun with it a little bit. So, some things that were suggested to me after the first video is a light ring, add some lighting, so it wasn't such a dark video. I've definitely done that. I don't have a light ring set up just yet. I'm working on kind of the right setup, but a really good friend, a longtime friend, reached out and said, hey man, you ought to do this. Also suggested a different, mic system. That way you guys can hear me better, hear me clearer, not have so much background noise. I know my first video had some background noise, so I'm working on that. Spoke with, some production people that I've met with and, work with, and just kind of, it picked their brain a little bit. So, hopefully it'll be a little bit better next time. But anyway, here we are, a little bit better lighting. Hopefully the video is good, and I'm going to go ahead and jump into this now. A few things that were suggested to me as far as something to talk about. Excuse me. Take a quick drink. No whiskey today, but I do got me some sweet tea. Love me a good, southern sweet tea, naturally brewed the right way. You can't beat that. But anyway, back to suggestions of things to talk about. One of them was stocks and ETFs. I can't speak a whole lot on the investment side of things. Number one, I'm certainly not the guy you want to take financial advice from. I am not a financial advisor. I'm learning myself a little bit about stocks, ETFs, investment strategies. I'm doing my homework, doing my research. I have no professional background or training. Last year, I actually got myself into quite a bit of a hole, investing. And, just to throw it out there, guys, do not invest if you don't have the money to lose. Because you could lose big. I lost about $30,000 inside of a matter of weeks. Got caught into something that I thought was a good investment, a good investing group to be a part of. Turned out that it was not. Lost a lot of money really fast, blink of an eye, so I don't suggest it. So back to stocks and ETFs, there's not much I can say or offer in terms of advice that I would recommend you listen to at all. I'm learning. If you want to give me some advice, throw out, a few things, send me a message, offer me some advice on investing, stocks, ETFs, I'm always happy to listen. I love learning, I love knowledge, and I love learning how to apply it correctly, and maybe I won't make that same mistake next time. But moving on, something else that was suggested by the same gentleman, Abel Carve, United States Air Force, active duty member right now, overseas in Japan. I appreciate you watching this and making your suggestions, and I look forward to us talking more in the future about some of your direction and your ambition. But how do I think mixed martial arts or combat sports in general helps military members kind of transfer back over to the civilian world or to the regular world? And whenever I got out of the Marine Corps back at the very end of 2002, I got into combat sports. But when I got out of the Marine Corps, honestly, it's like a lot of military members, whether you've served in combat, whether you've been just to foreign countries, whether you've just done your first 4 years and called it good, it's like a lot of people get so used to that structure, so used to the organization. You're used to following orders, having a chain of command, And whenever you become a civilian, you're just not used to it. You know, it's a world that's foreign to you. You're not used to that anymore. You know, everybody thinks that they transition well enough, but honestly, I mean, it's a hard change to go from being in the military for any type of number of years to immediately becoming a civilian again. But getting into combat sports, you know, how that kind of helps with the transition is it gives you or puts you in a structured environment that gives you that same camaraderie. You know, that's what kind of brought me back time and time again, put me in a very good headspace. You know, number one, helped keep my mental health in a good place for itself and for me, you know. And I mean, it offers you something that you miss whenever you get out of the military. You miss camaraderie, you miss the brotherhood, sisterhood, you know, you miss having people that you feel like is on your team and has your back. So, you know, that is something that I absolutely, you know, stress whenever you get into combat sports, mixed martial arts, boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, bare knuckle boxing, you know, jiu-jitsu, anything that you can get into. I recommend getting into it. You know, I really do, just because it gives you a great direction in life. It helps you out. It kind of keeps your mind where it needs to be. It gives you a set focus, a structured and organized, you know, position in life, still a place to go to, you know, whenever you need to relieve some stress. And yeah, the gym is therapy. It really is, you know. And stepping into a combat sport gym, a martial art gym, form of martial arts, anything like that, it's structured, it's organized, it has camaraderie, it gives you a family, it gives you something that you feel like you miss when you leave the military. So I hope that helps you out on that, you know. And you know, it's something else that was suggested to me by another gentleman, is potentially doing live videos while watching the fights live and giving a breakdown per video. You know, I would love to potentially do that. I wouldn't be able to stream the fights live and do a live video all at the same time. It's a copyright infringement, not something I'm trying to get wrapped up into legally. You know, however, something that I absolutely could do and may do is on my Sunday evenings, whenever I decide to go live, I might do, you know, kind of a breakdown of the prior night's fights. You know, we know the UFC hosts almost every Saturday. They've got a lot of fighters, a big roster, a lot of different, you know, platforms that they offer to their fighters. You know, there's a lot of different fights all over the world. You know, I mean, promotions. You got UFC Fight Pass that hosts a number of different promotions. You've now got, you know, different streaming services that are getting into, you know, offering, you know, specific like channels, even for their combat sport that they have under contract. You know, Glory Kickboxing, BKFC, BYB, you know, Sparta, we're working out a few things also. You know, so that might be something where I get into that and break that down. And yeah, I love the suggestions, guys. This is a short video tonight, quick video. Like I said, they're going to start getting a little bit shorter so that I can focus on what I really want to discuss on Sunday nights whenever I go live. So this Sunday, I will be going live at 7 p.m. I'll go live for an hour. Don't know if I'm going to have a guest speaker with me yet or not, or, you know, somebody to sit down, kind of jabber with a little bit, shoot the shit, and talk back and forth. But please, just like last time, you know, if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do. Please share my videos. You know, put it out there. I'm just trying to bring more of my 2 cents to the world. Again, Disgruntl'd Coach. Not everything's always going to be happy and smiles and everything else. You know, sometimes I'm going to lay a piece of my mind out there that everybody's like, wow, you know, this guy's got an opinion, and you absolutely are correct. I do. You know, but shoot me over some more ideas, some things to talk about. I want to cover probably a good 5 subjects, you know, on Sunday night whenever, you know, I go live. But I'm looking forward to it. Until then, guys, we'll see you in a couple of days. Again, follow my social medias if you haven't yet. I'm going to post them following this video, so I hope you made it to the end of the video, and I look forward to talking to you again. Until then, we'll see you next time.